I'm delicious. Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Happy Friday. TGIF.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going? I like how there's always at least one person that redeems "Hey, what's up?" whenever we start the stream. Appreciate it. Every time. I feel like sometimes it's the same person, sometimes it's somebody else, but it's like there's always at least one person that will do the duty of "Hey, what's up?"
Good evening, Mr. Benda streaming.
Good evening to you too, Kiwi Bagels. Thank you so much for the 4 months. And Voided Kimmy, thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome. Let's see. I'm Gracie. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. How's T-Prog? We got up to, Gavel in BJCC. Like, we almost resolved Propeller Wind. So, there's that. I'm so mad because during one of our last pulls, we wiped because I died. Because I went like a solid minute without getting heals, and I got owned by autos. It was really sad. And I think I was just like out of range for a lot of heals, and I just should have been like panic mitigating a lot more. But yeah, I should have just like clemencied myself actually, because I'm a paladin and I can do that. But yeah, Prague is going well. I feel like we're probably the next time my static meets up, we're probably going to clear BJCC, and then the rest of it is just like running simulations of every mechanic until we can do all of them flawlessly, and then day 2 after BJCC, we just clear. Like, GG. And then I get my perfect legend title, and then I don't have to do anything else ever again. I didn't used to be a Pally main. I'm a warrior main, but my main tank plays warrior, so I got relegated to one of the cringier jobs instead of playing my beloved warrior. But no, Paladin is actually a lot of fun. I love it. Dog be speaking an alien language not found on this earth. Yeah, it's Final Fantasy XIV Raider speak. Is this your first ultimate? You bet it is. First time. My friends told me that T was the funnest, so I was like, sure, I'll join. And it's been a blast so far. I love it. Why is Paladin cringy? Because it's not warrior. I want big axe and chainsaw and unga bunga.
Gamers.
It's also not Dark Knight, apparently. Yeah, I mean, Dark Knight's fine. I just think that it's like a really... It feels clunky. It feels like a warrior, but with, like, less unga bunga. Paladin is the only tank class I care to play, but I am not a tank main. That's fair. I mean, Paladin's the most, like, straightforward, I feel like. You just do your 1, 2, 3, you pop, fucking fight or flight or whatever. And then you just, Requiescat. You can tell I'm very in tune with the class, because I forget all the words. And then you just Confiteor, and then you just, fucking... You Circle of Scorn, and then you Spirits Within, and then you Goring Blade, and then you, do your Royal Authority combo, and then, that's it. And then you do it all over again in, like, 30 seconds. Wait, no, it's Expiation. It's not Spirits Within. Anyway, Vivi Hedgehog, thank you so much for the 13 months. Floresila, thank you so much for the 16. Zenorous, thank you so much for the 6 months. What the heck? What happened? Did my camera... There we go. I guess it just snapped at a weird angle. Black Shadow, thank you so much for the 3 months. I appreciate it too. Thank you so much, guys. For all your subs. Wow. Yeah, so game plan for today. We're gonna finish off case 1 of Ace Attorney Investigations 2. I have to admit, guys, doing all of the voices and like doing, you know, I'm one to go all out when I do my voices. Doing that really tires me out. So I might have to either cut down on going so ham on the voices, which is very difficult for me, or stream Edgeworth less. So, or maybe get a buddy to join me to like share the load. I'll be like, hey Nazi, can you dedicate 3 hours of your life to do funny voices with me on a Phoenix Wright stream? And knowing him, he'll be like, man, shut the fuck up. So, rip. We still need to play Halo. So we're probably gonna do that. We're gonna do Halo first. But yeah. Y'all, I love Final Fantasy XIV. It's so good. I kind of want to like, I wish I could stream the next round of like Arcadian fights, because I've been like listening to the soundtrack of the Arcadian and I'm just like, man, those are fun fights. I want to be able to like stream my prog, but my static is full of shit posters. I love them though. They're my friends. Nazi can join you to do voices. Nazi would be so fucking awesome. 2 quality VAs VOing a good game, yeah. But also, like, I don't want to, like, it just feels weird to me. Especially because I don't think he's played any of the other games. You guys, I know a lot of you watch Nazi stream too. Go tell him to play Phoenix Wright next time he's streaming. Maybe make a new FF account solely for stream. That would require either me having to level up all the way to Dawn Trail, which would take at least like 200 to 300 hours, or spending money on story and job skips, which would be money, and I would still have to play like 80 hours to get to the end of Dawn Trail. So that would require a serious commitment of either a lot of time or money and some time. And like the problem is like I still want to raid with my friends and everything, but you know I just I'm trying not to have my communities cross over. I'm part of like 5 different friend groups and like all of them have a different personality that I use. It feels really weird to say it that way, but it's kind of the truth. You know when you're with friend group A and you say a joke that's for friend group B? It's like that, but I've got like friend groups A through F. You can kind of tell why I'm always busy all the time. Cross-pollinate? No thank you. We are good, actually. We're very decent. He says you can't tell him what to do? Oh, okay. Damn. Rip. It's code switching is hard. It's like joke switching. Jokes switching. Anyway, let's get this sucker booted up so we can be Miles Edgeworth, perfect prosecutor. Bemby and Maeve were in a fighting game. What moves would they have? It's so funny because I feel like the fighting style they would have is like incompatible with the kind of with the kind of characters that I like to play as. Well, no, actually, you know Miss Fortune from Skullgirls? I feel like it would have that kind of vibe. Because I like characters with rekkas. If you don't know what a rekka is, Google fighting games REKKA. And Miss Fortune has rekkas, but she's also like a puppet character, and I feel like I want that. These two would definitely be like a puppet character combo. So kind of like Zato from Guilty Gear, or Carl Clover from Blaze Blue. So, yeah. Or alternatively, like, fucking... What's the name of the vampire girl from Blaze Blue? I forget her name. Is it Rachel? I think it is Rachel. Rachel, yeah, Rachel Alucard. Where is this game? Ah! There it is. Anyway, let's boot this sucker up. Wow! I'm gonna switch to mouse control and just have my automated thingamabobber. There we go. Here we fucking go! Is the audio sounding okay? Is everything good? Volume good? Sounds good? Whoop. Let's go. Yep. Yep. Alright. So, previously, I already put the VOD out, right? I think I did. Did I already upload the VOD? I'm pretty sure I did. Anyway, if you want a full summary of what happened, go watch the VOD. But if you haven't seen the VOD, I'll give you a quick summary. Miles Edgeworth has been called in to help investigate a political assassination case. We thought the president was shot at, the president of this foreign country, but it turns out that it was all faked. He had a fake laser pointer on his head, and this dude Knight shot some bullets, and it was all a setup. But then somebody actually died, so we're trying to figure out who actually killed him. And I'm fairly certain that it's this Knight dude. Because he had access to a gun, and he was actively shooting, so I'm pretty sure it was him. And right now we're getting his testimony. So, well, let's just figure out what the fuck is going on here. Alright, so, to summarize what he's saying, and I'll do the funny voices too. As soon as I shot that balloon, I rushed over to help Rook escort the president back onto the plane. I left Rook in here in this room while I secured the president in the safe room. When I came back out, Rook was lying there on the ground. This journalist must have shot Rook while we were escorting the president off stage. That single killer shot was fired by the gun you found in the trash can. Alright, so, Shinotaku Geek, thank you so much for the tier 2 sub. Thank you. And again, everybody, no spoilers, no backseating, no hints. If you have theories on what's happening, keep them to yourself until shit is resolved. And then you can be like, haha, I knew all along it was this. Alright, so I need more information, so I'm gonna press a lot of these.
Hold it!
Why do that? You and the president both knew the whole thing wasn't real. But it had to seem real. There were people everywhere. It's not a good look, right? Imagine if someone had spotted a man who'd just been shot at, hanging out in his plane, sipping grape juice like he didn't have a care in the world. What was the victim doing during all this? Who knows? I was in the safe room, like I said. Anyway. When I came back out, Rook was lying there on the ground.
Hold it!
I want more information! Where on the ground exactly? Right where he is now, the middle of the floor. The door to the outside was shut, though. Guess the bullet must have hit him right before he closed it. Thanks to his little blunder, my whole plan fell apart.
Mr. Knight, you mustn't talk that way.
He may have kept you safe, Mr. President, but he isn't here now to save your good name. I'd call that dereliction of duty. What would you call it? An honorable try, which is more than what you'd give, I'd say. Sorry, but that's just how it is. Miss Journalist, Mr. Shot. There's no fucking way she could have made that shot. Like, as they were entering the plane, she had a gun and shot him and hit him directly in, like, right through the side. There's no way that's possible. Weren't you and Mr. Rook both carrying bulletproof attaché cases? Yeah, opened them right after Rook spotted the laser sight. We moved into covering positions and used them to shield the president. So the bullet that hit Mr. Rook traveled through a gap in that defensive shield? Do you really believe Miss Lloyd to be that skilled a marksperson? No. She was aiming for the president. That makes her a lousy shot. So it was pure coincidence that Mr. Rook was hit. And the bullet simply happened to find its way past your attaché cases and through the gap in his vest. Seems crazy to me too, but the facts are the facts. It was a shot in a million, but the shooter hit the bullseye, and the proof is in your hands. That single killer shot was fired by the gun you found in the trash can. I'm pretty sure this is the statement that we need to present to, because 2 shots were fired from this gun.
Objection!
So you contend that it was you who shot the balloon, and Miss Lloyd who shot Mr. Rook. Are you sure about that? Sure, I'm sure. While what you've proposed would indeed match up with the total number of shots heard, the gun from the trash can itself has also been fired twice. God, I love that face so much. God, the objection theme in this game is so good. God, there we go. My camera keeps glitching out. It's weird. Now, why would the supposed number of shots heard from this gun differ from the number of spent rounds? It's simple. Because it was planted. Planted by the real perpetrator of the crime. Somebody faked the evidence? Yes. If you think about it, their reason for doing so is obvious. To ensure that whoever found the gun would conclude that the shooter had been in the spectator area. And in order to do that, they had to make it seem as if both shots had come from this one weapon. I get it. So that's why it's got 2 spent rounds, huh? Precisely. As we have already proven, the bullet that burst the balloon came from a different weapon. Which makes it entirely possible that the bullet which killed Mr. Rook didn't come from this gun either. Nice work, Edgeworth. That's some high-grade sleuthing. but why don't you get to the point? You come this far, spit it out. Oh, I intend to, don't worry. The person who really shot Mr. Rook was... It was you! Bronco Knight. Eat shit.
Take that!
You, Mr. Knight! You're the one who murdered Mr. Rook! Ooh. Finally got up the courage to say it, huh?
Surely not. Surely you wouldn't have.
It wasn't only the killer who tried to take advantage of this fake murder plot. You killed Mr. Rook, hoping that he would look like an accidental victim of the bungler's assassination. With the president locked away in the safe room and the door of the airplane tightly closed, it was just you and Mr. Rook, alone, together. Ooh. And that was when the third bullet was fired, right into your colleague's body.
Objection!
Wait, you're really gonna claim there's a third one now? You just said only 2 gunshots were heard. Want to tell me how that works?
Objection!
Airplane cabins are practically soundproof, Mr. Knight. If you close the door, nothing can be heard from the outside, not even gunfire. But wasn't the president right next door? Very true, which means he may have heard the shot himself. Well, Mr. President?
I didn't hear anything.
But you can observe this room through your security feed, can you not?
The camera in this room isn't normally on. I have to manually switch it on when I enter the safe room.
And that's what you did this time too, right?
Well, that is...
What's gotten into him? Mr. President, this is vitally important. Please, President Wong.
Fine, I was busy hiding under the bed, covering my ears.
What? Even though you knew the whole thing wasn't real?
Yes, because I hate the sound of guns. Just the slightest hint of that awful noise and... Oh, it's just too much.
Oof. That there's sadder than a pot of overcooked crawfish. Ahem. Mr. Knight, you saw that President Wong was cowering beneath the bed. And what's more, you knew from the monitor bank that the security camera for this room hadn't been switched on, which means you knew that the circumstances were perfect for you to fire the third shot straight at Mr. Rook.
Knight, how could you? Could you really have betrayed my trust so horribly?
You think I killed the old halfwit? You don't trust me much, huh? This is the thanks I get for putting my life on the line for you day after day.
I want to believe you, but...
I don't get it. I just don't get it. What is there to doubt here? What, you don't believe that the girl over there could have done it? No, because this gun isn't the murder weapon. We know this from the number of bullets fired. Yeah? Well, how do you know there wasn't a spent bullet from the start? What? Someone could have fired a bullet from that gun yesterday, or the day before. Then today, another bullet. The bullet that hit Rook. That's pure speculation, pal, and you know it! Maybe. But can you prove it's not true? Not with any certainty, no. You're nothing without conclusive proof, so come on. A single piece of evidence straight through my heart. I dare you. Well, what are you waiting for? There must be something. Mustn't there, Mr. Edgeworth? If we can't prove it, Tabby's... Please, Ruffles. I messed up. I know I did. I should have never done what I did, not even for a scoop. But murder? No, that ain't me. Ain't a murderous bone in my body. Conclusive proof. If only I could prove that Knight's gun is the murder weapon. Wait, perhaps I can. If you had at least had the bullet that burst the balloon, you might have a scrap of credibility. Imagine, you could have run forensics to see if it matched my gun. If we had the bullet that killed Mr. Rook, forensics could tell us which gun it was fired from. No proof, no case. End of conversation.
Objection!
Hold it right there! What now? You're not about to claim you do have proof. Of course I do. This ought to be good. Alright, bring it on! Show me this proof of yours. The bullet that killed Mr. Rook is the key to ending our little game. Very well, my conclusive evidence is... I don't have it on me. We'd have to go get it from the lake. Not currently in my possession. Alright then, thanks for playing, folks, but that's game over. However, it is here in this room. What? As we know, the bullet that killed Mr. Rook passed through his body. But where did it end its journey? Perhaps we should cast our minds back to an earlier conversation. After passing through his body, the bullet that took Mr. Rook's life then found itself lodged in the vest. He's right. If the president hadn't been wearing that vest, things could have been a lot worse. But now, of course, we know that the so-called assassination attempt was a complete fabrication. The vest was prepared in advance, made to look as though it had been hit by a bullet. Which begs the question, where is the real bullet? I like it. A twist. This is good stuff, Edgeworth. Come on then, don't keep us in suspense. Does any of the evidence point to where the bullet that killed Mr. Rook might have ended up? I want to say the security monitors, because if they were in this room and they were both standing, it's at about like the same height that I think the bullet would have gone to. So
Take that!
there's something very clearly missing from this room. Yes, a prosecutor with some common sense. What a burn. Like, what the fuck, man? Why would you say that? Mean. Take a look at the bank of security monitors. Oh! I see you've caught on, Mr. President. Splendid. There are screens here showing views from all around this airplane, inside and out. The only external angle not covered is the right-hand side of the aircraft. And that's because one of the monitors is missing. There was a monitor in that space previously, wasn't there, Mr. President?
There was. I have no idea what my plushie is doing there now, though.
It appears... Oh, typo! There's a typo! It appears be someone's vain attempt. There's a typo. Okay, to be fair, Phoenix Wright games are fucking huge in terms of pure writing volume. So, you know what? Yeah, it's fair that some typos will slip through. Like, there's a bunch of typos in a lot of the series. The most famous one is for the bad ending of, I think, Ace Attorney 2, where it, like, I think the first versions of the game had "the miracle never happened" instead of "the miracle never happened." I'm gonna screen cap this so I can send that to maybe there's a forum. Different endings in these games. For Ace Attorney 2, there's like a bad ending, but like it's more of a game over than like a proper ending. But it's like a special game over, you know? But no, all these games have one ending. There's only one path to the truth. It appears to be someone's vain attempt to hide what is obviously lacking. But where did it go, and why? The why is easy enough to answer, because it was struck by a bullet. For if we were to believe that the bullet in the vest was the real deal, then anything that hinted at the existence of another bullet had to be removed. So, where did the missing monitor go? Where indeed? I believe that it must be hidden somewhere on this plane. After all, there wouldn't have been a time to dispose of it outside the aircraft. Detective Gumshoe, conduct a search, if you would. Right away, sir! Mr. President, extraterritoriality, remember?
I have no objection to the search. Please, go ahead. If it will help us discover the truth behind what happened to Rook, I will not stand in your way.
What are you? I don't believe this! Rook this, Rook that. Don't you ever think about anybody else?
The search has been authorized, Detective, if you wouldn't mind.
Sir, I found the monitor!
Excellent work. Now go ahead and extract the bullet.
Let's see. If I put my hand in here and just... Oh, come on! Got it!
Well, would you look at that? Blood.
This is the bullet that killed Mr. Rook. There's no doubt about it.
Also, hey, Cookie.
Bloody bullet data jotted down in my organizer.
And there you have it, Mr. Knight. The single piece of evidence you requested, straight through your heart. Even you must now admit, if this bullet didn't come from the spectator area gun, then Miss Lloyd cannot be Mr. Rook's killer. What, no pithy comeback? Detective, have forensics analyze the bullet for striations and compare them to the gun we found.
Yes, sir! We'll get the evidence you need. You can count on it.
Alright, let's hear what forensics has to say.
Our findings are as follows, sir.
Firstly, the blood on the bullet is indeed that of the victim, proving that it was the bullet that killed Mr. Rook.
Secondly, we found Mr. Knight's fingerprints on the gun.
Probably from when I handed all the evidence over to him. Now for the key part, the striations. Striations. If they're not a match, then Miss Lloyd is in the clear.
Lastly, the striations on the bullet are a match with this weapon.
What? But how could that be? No way! Oh, come on!
There's no doubt about it, sir. This is the gun that fired the bullet.
How?
Well, isn't that something? Conclusive proof that I was right. What's the matter? You didn't think you had me backed into a corner, did you?
Guess you misread the board.
Because the only one backed into a corner here is you. There's no denying it. Forensics proved that the gun and the bullet are a match. The bullet that killed Rook was fired from the gun you found in the spectator area. So who pulled the trigger? It can't have been me. I was up on stage, which leaves your little friend. The hack killed Rook. She's the murderer, and you just proved it. Oh, we've got a new cross-examination theme, too. Your move, Edgeworth, but just remember two things. One, where you found that gun, and two, which gun the fatal bullet came from. Whichever way you look at it, I can't have been the shooter.
How did it come to this?
Me and the president, we admitted to faking the assassination attempt. Now it's your turn to admit something. Who the killer really is.
There's no way Tabby did it, is there? Don't let him get to you, Kay. We just need to go over his statements again. There must be something further we can deduce from them. Okay, let's do this, Mr. Edgeworth.
All right. Okay, that's irrefutable. Yeah. A forensics literally being like, yeah, they're a match. I can't, there's nothing I can do from that. The bullet that killed Rook was fired from the gun you found in the spectator area. Let's get more on that.
Objection!
Holy shit, he's already cutting me off. No, you hold it. You were the one who proved this. Or are you saying the forensics was wrong?
The bullet had the victim's blood on it, which means it must be the one that took his life. And it does seem to have been fired from the gun we found in the trash can.
Don't you just love this? Your face, Edgeworth. What a picture.
A man in dire straits, yes. Well spotted, you.
Let's just agree that the facts are what they are and move on. That gun fired the fatal bullet. So who pulled the trigger? I don't think I'm gonna get enough info here.
Yes, who indeed? Still can't bring yourself to admit the truth, huh? I get it. I was in your shoes just a few minutes ago. Burned me up on the inside, you know. Made me really want to shoot somebody. Sorry, it's no laughing matter, I know. But we both know who really did shoot someone, don't we? Can't have been me. I was up on stage, which leaves your little friend. I mean, you did have an opportunity to shoot while you were on stage, and you must have had some way of... How would he have gotten the gun to the trash can, is my question. What proof is there that Miss Lloyd fired that gun? What proof? How about the forensics you ordered? They didn't find her prints, though, did they? Yeah! The only prints they found were yours, pal!
Objection!
From when I confiscated the evidence, probably. Anyway, say it wasn't Miss Journalist. Who was it? Because it can't have been me. Your own investigation put the shooter in the spectator area, didn't it? Are you ready to admit it yet? All the evidence points in one direction. Hack killed Rook. She's the murderer, and you just proved it.
Hold it!
That's not what I proved at all. Oh yeah? So what did you prove? Still trying to make this about how I fired the first shot? Sure, you proved that and I admitted it. But so what? You're forgetting that you're here to do one thing, and one thing only. You got that right, to uncover the truth! And you think ruining your country's relationship with Zheng Fa is going to do that? No. Your job is to solve an attempted assassination. Nothing else. I'll decide what my job is, thank you very much. You don't get to tell me what to do. Oh, sure. Let the trail go cold while you flip your wig over who gets to say what to who. Or you could finally do the right thing and admit that your little friend is guilty. Never. You're the guilty one here. There's no doubt about it. The markings on the bullet are consistent with those left by the weapon from the trash can. But if Mr. Knight were to have tampered with the gun somehow, he couldn't have... He could have only done it once I'd handed over the evidence, and not a moment before. He swapped the guns! That has to be the answer. He swapped the guns. Isn't there anything we can do, Mr. Edgeworth? There must be something. Our reasoning thus far has been sound, I'm sure of it. Which means we can overcome his defenses this time as well. Really? Even with the forensics results on his side? If a testimony is untruthful, there is always a contradiction to be found. Let's listen to what he has to say for himself one more time. Alright. I am gonna carefully examine this gun. Okay. He must have swapped the guns. That's my only... Nothing from Shelly the Killers. So when we gave him all the evidence, he would have, that's when he swapped the guns, right? So forensics did a... I need to be able to prove that, though. That's the only explanation, is that we ran forensics on his gun. But it was, he gave it, like, he must have swapped the sights around.
Hold it!
Let me press everything, just so I have everything clear. No, that's...
Objection!
What was it you said? The forensics would back you up? How does it feel to be shot in the chest by your own conclusive proof, huh? Not so good, I imagine. Bummy! Hey man, how's it going? The bullet and the gun are a match, Mr. Edgeworth. That kinda has to mean that Tabby pulled the trigger, no? Even so, I simply cannot accept that. But sir, there's no denying the evidence! There isn't. So what am I missing? If I assume Miss Lloyd to be innocent, then the gun and the bullet shouldn't be a match. What is it, Kay? I was just thinking, if the evidence points to something that doesn't seem possible, then maybe there's something wrong with it. You're asking me to call the evidence into question?
Well, there's no way Tabby did this, right? So if the evidence says that she did, then the problem must lie there. You seem very sure about this. Call it my great thief's intuition. Intuition? Huh. Still, she could be right. I simply don't believe Miss Lloyd to be a malicious liar, which means... As someone who believes that evidence is everything in court, the irony is not lost on me, but... If I were to call a piece of evidence into question, it would have to be the gun! If something untoward is going on here, it would have to involve the weapon, not the bullet. After all, we only just recovered the bullet a little while ago. Furthermore, we know that Mr. Knight had an opportunity to handle the gun. Now hand over the evidence you have gathered, and remove yourselves from this plane. I'd do as he says if I were you, Miss Edgeworth. This can't really be the end of the line, can it? Indeed, he had ample opportunity. There's no doubt that this gun is the weapon that was used in the crime. Which means it must belong to... It's Knight's gun! The gun belongs to Mr. Knight! He switched them around! That has to be it! I knew it. Alright. So, I guess if we already know that this is his gun, we just do this. Admit it. You switched the guns, didn't you, Mr. Knight? That's why the markings match the weapon in question. It was yours all along. An intriguing move there, Edgeworth, and... You must have made the switch when I handed over the evidence, while I was busy trying to make the case for remaining on the investigation. You took the laser sight from the gun we found in the trash can, and put it on your own. Then, not long afterwards, you handed that gun back to me, instead of the one we found. I did, huh? You think I somehow knew you'd find, let alone run forensics on that bullet sometime in the future? Is that so strange? You're a chess player, after all. A man well used to thinking several moves ahead. I'm flattered. But much as it pains me to admit it, you're overestimating my abilities. Besides, do you even have any proof that I made the switch? Oh, for fuck's sake! The gun is the same model as mine. Weird, sure, but it's just a coincidence. And look, there's a laser sight attached. Also, take a look in the cylinder. 2 spent bullets. Just what we'd expect to see. So what proof do you have that I switched the original gun out for mine, huh? None! That's what! You say I'm overestimating your abilities. You surprise me. What can I say? I'm a modest guy. More modest than you, that's for sure. Everywhere except at the chessboard, that is. Well, I don't see a chessboard here, do you? Shame. Still, guess that gives you a nice excuse. I didn't mess up. I just didn't have the right evidence. I don't think I'll be the one making excuses. Rather, I didn't mess up. They just got lucky with the evidence. Will be your excuse, I'd imagine. Okay, so... Can I examine this gun again now that I know that it's his? Yes, well that is certainly true. It also increases the risk of your target realizing that they're in your sights. But I bet you wouldn't realize it if you were you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why? Because I'm wearing red, you mean? Yeah, exactly! How did you guess? Can I, like, examine to see if it's switchable? Let's press all these and see if we can get more info. A coincidence, you say? Or was it a necessity? It can't be both, pal! Sure it can. We bodyguards need to protect the president. And the girl needed to use a gun.
She probably doesn't know a whole lot about them. It's not so far-fetched for her to pick something she's heard of that we also happen to use.
Okay, but why a revolver? Why is that your go-to gun?
It's probably something to do with its ease of use. No spent casings to chase down, for example. Exactly. The perfect tool for a job where you can't afford to fail, or don't know what you're doing. Still, coincidence, necessity. It doesn't make a whole lot of difference either way. And look, there's a laser.
Yep, you can swap them.
Because you swapped it on there. Put up or shut up, Edgeworth. Where's your evidence? Well, that is. Don't go making accusations you can't back up. Or did your daddy never teach you that? As it stands, the facts are in my favor here.
Alright. Can you show me your gun to see how many you've spent?
I've been meaning to ask, actually. What about your own weapon? How many spent bullets are in its cylinder? This old girl here? Well, now.
Please answer the question, sir.
I let loose a few rounds earlier, as you saw. He reloads his gun every time he fires it. But even if I were to tell you how many there were at the time, you'd have no way of verifying that. Of course! In order to swap the guns properly, he'd have to maintain the right amount of bullets per gun. He didn't have the chance to put on any gloves, though, which means... Alright, I think it's about time you did the right thing and resigned, don't you? Game's all but done, see? So what proof do you have?
Hold it! Objection!
The proof is... something you clearly don't have. If you did, you'd have made your move by now. We do so have proof! Right, Mr. Edgeworth? You won't be given the chance to investigate any further. I'll have to work with what we've gathered. Think, Miles, think. Consider all the possibilities. If you got the goods, it's now or never.
How are we supposed to prove he switched the guns?
Fortunately, we don't have any direct evidence of his wrongdoing. That in itself is proof of a kind. Because otherwise, the striations shouldn't line up like they do. Oh, because otherwise the striations shouldn't line up like they do. Right, sir? Right. We must carefully consider and infer what we can from the evidence he brings up in his testimony. The truth is in there somewhere.
Alright. So. I'm pretty sure this is the statement that the contradiction is in. We have one of the bullets that this gun fired. So... I think we need... maybe that's important somehow? Wait! He would have had to have... his fingerprints would probably be on the bullets themselves because he swapped them, so...
Objection!
Maybe that's the bit of logic that we need to apply. Maybe I have to present the bullet on that one. The bloody bullet.
Hold it!
So I'm gonna do that. I already saw this! Ah! Yeah, in Ace Attorney games, they rarely, have, like, real-life consequences for firing a gun, you know?
Objection!
Nope, that's not it. Ugh. All right, let me look over everything one last time. Can't be the attaché case. Oh, did somebody delete shit? I already saw it. Yeah, it's the monitors.
Objection!
It must be. I'm pretty sure the monitors must have captured that. Don't theorize! Just smile! Or use badge. You didn't mean to? Don't fucking do it again! Alright.
Objection!
That's not in anyway. It's not the monitors. That is actually a very good idea, but I don't think that was it. Okay. So we need to make... It's one of these 4 statements. I'm pretty sure it's the one about the 2 shots. But I need to think about how exactly I can prove that he swapped the... Ugh! It would have had to have been... So he swapped the... And like, Miles is like, haha, he didn't have gloves for this. So he must have used this to do shit. Guys, stop fucking suggesting shit. Why is it so hard for you guys not to suggest shit? Just smile. Don't make any suggestions. I'll figure it out. All right. I'm gonna look at these one last time. You guys need to be quicker on the draw mods. The game isn't letting me investigate more for this. I need to take a sip of water. Luckily, I only know how to solve puzzles in Layton. Man, I love Layton's puzzles so much. It's that shit is good. I feel like I should also play those games at some point, but they're probably they're way more wordy than these games are, I think. All right. Don't tell me it's this statement.
Objection!
Oh my fucking god, it is. I have your proof right here. That's your proof? I think you've been working too hard, Edgeworth. Not the gun itself, the evidence it carries. Evidence that will prove once and for all that it does in fact belong to you. I'm looking forward to this. Alright, so my logic is that I was on the right track, where I needed to present the gun to be like, hey, you swapped out the bullets, so the bullets are gonna have your fingerprints. But I did it on the wrong statement. I was supposed to do it on the one where he's like, you should present your proof. So I should have just presented the gun on the last statement, not the one where he's talking about the bullets. I'm looking forward to this. Go ahead, make your move. Eso puede pasar? Yep, it sure can. Sometimes you will know exactly what the answer is, but the game wants you to present the answer in a very specific statement. And, like, it happens in every game. What's about to come into play? The rook? The bishop? Not a pawn, surely. The evidence the gun will provide takes the form of fingerprints. Fingerprints. Namely, your fingerprints, Mr. Knight.
Objection!
My prints? Of course my prints are on the gun. You handed it right to me when you gave up the evidence. How could they not be on there?
Objection!
What if I told you there are prints on a part of the gun that you shouldn't have touched at any point? What? Where? You can't prove that! Oh, but I can. There is a place where your fingerprints could never have been left if things happened as you say. Allow me to present the final piece of evidence that will bring our game to its rightful conclusion. Alright, so I will pop this open. Here, look closely at the cylinder, detective. 2 bullets fired, but where are the prints we're looking for, sir? Right here. You did indeed switch the guns when I handed you the evidence. But if that were all you had done, your deception would have been easily detected, because the number of bullets fired by each gun was different. There were 2 spent bullets in the gun we found. Yeah, but what about Mr. Knight's gun? We know that he fired 2 bullets from the stage into the balloon. And he fired another bullet into Mr. Rook, ending his life. So 3 bullets in total, plus the few odd ones he let loose in shock during our little game. And after each shot, he reloaded his gun out of habit. With his bare hands, of course. Officer, where exactly were Mr. Knight's fingerprints found? The ones you mentioned in your report. Sir, they were found on the exterior of the weapon, but also on the bullets themselves. I'm not sure they could have gotten there just from me handing you the evidence, Mr. Knight. That's... And there we have it. Proof that you did indeed switch the guns. This gun, the one which fired the bullet that killed Mr. Rook, is yours. And in taking his life, you are the true assassin. I didn't... Oh, are we gonna get the fucking breakdown? Checkmate. Oh. Oh! I saw the thinker as one of the things that bonked him on the head. I was going to be the new chief of security. That blasted Rook. If it hadn't been for him, I would have been in charge by now. I would have been in control of the whole team. My plan was perfect. The fake assassination was supposed to be flawless. Detective Gumshoe. Right away, sir. Curse you, Edgeworth! Our game isn't over yet. I'm afraid this is as far as we go for today. The next moves we play will be in the courtroom. But it's not fair! It's not fair. There he goes, to a prison cell. Oh, he's back to being Buff McScruff. Mr. Edgeworth, I owe you a debt of gratitude. You exposed a murderer within the ranks of my own personal guard. I will not soon forget that. He's suddenly very presidential again, now that we're back outside the plane. I saw it, you know.
when I first proposed the fake assassination to him. You want me to handle it? You want me to handle it, not Rook? Rook refused, but I can rely on you, can't I? Of course, sir. You can count on me. I'll put together a plan that can't possibly fail. And he'll play his part like the pawn he is. The hatred in his eyes was plain to see. He despised poor Rook.
Man, everybody fucking loves Rook.
I was not entirely comfortable about moving forward with Knight in charge of our little deception. And looking back, I think he sensed my discomfort. I can't help thinking I played a part in his decision to end Rook's life. Mr. President, none of this would have happened if you hadn't plotted to fake an attempt on your life. That was your crime, and it is a crime you will have to live with. You are right. I can only apologize for the part I played. And I will no doubt be made to pay for my actions in one way or another. But I thank you nonetheless. You solved the riddle of Rook's demise, and for that, I shall be eternally grateful. I will be here in your country for a little while longer yet. But when I have returned home, perhaps you will visit us in Zhengfa. You will always be welcome. Now I go back home.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you! Y'all don't know how grateful I am. All's well that ends well. Miss Lloyd, the accusation of murder made against you was, of course, entirely groundless. But the fact remains that you were a willing participant in the staged assassination attempt. The police will no doubt wish to speak to you about the matter. You should be aware that you may well be punished for your actions. I know, and I'm awfully sorry about everything, truly I am. I understand your desire for a scoop, but there are limits. There sure are. I got me some serious thinking to do. You did it, Mr. Edgeworth! That was something else! Local prosecutor solves assassination conundrum, earns eternal gratitude of president. How's that for a headline? Hey, that there's my department. Mr. Prosecutor, how does it feel to solve such an important case? You must be over the moon. She certainly doesn't stay down for long. No comment. Dang, you're one tight-lipped son of a gun. As well I should be. This case is not over yet.
It isn't? How come, sir?
Because until we unravel the story behind this, the case will never be completely over. Unravel the story about this? About why the balloons had to be popped? Oh! Oh, because of Shelly the Killer!
Take that!
The Killer's calling card. Mr. the Killer has yet to complete his assignment.
You mean he might still try to murder the president?
I hope I'm wrong. If I'm not, this could all blow up into something more sinister yet. Because he escaped! As one would expect with the attempted assassination of a president, the case was all over the news. Yeah, I almost forgot about him. But I was like, it's like we didn't present the calling card during any of the examinations, so I'm like, oh, that has to be the last piece of the puzzle. The case was all over the news, and my preparations for Mr. Knight's trial were constantly interrupted by requests from the press. There wasn't a person in the land who didn't know about the case. Everybody was talking about it. But in the midst of the frenzy that followed, nobody noticed that this was only the first move in a game far bigger than any of us could have imagined. Yeah, I'm gonna swap games. We're not doing case 2. Captive Turnabout. Ooh. Oh, there's 5 cases. A Turnabout Forsaken sounds fucking metal as hell. The Captive Turnabout Legacy, Turnabout for the Ages. Not even watching the opening scene? I mean, we could. Do you guys want to watch the opening scene? Mods, do a poll. We'll either we do or we don't. We're gonna swap to Honkai. All right, let's see. Let's see what the setup is. Okay. Green bell. Blood. Oh, he's dead? Somebody killed him in jail? Green bell. Dog? Is that Bond from Spy Family? Oh, never mind. I guess we're going to have to cross-examine a dog. But, we're not doing that now. So, let's just save and go. It was the dog. He did it. Case closed. Wait, is it beginning? A body is discovered. That's a video game reference for you video game fans. Anyway, let's I've played a lot of Phoenix Wright games, and that case was honestly like one of the better first cases. There are some goated with the sauce first cases, and that definitely was one of them. That was pretty goated with the sauce. Wait, hang on. Whoa, dude! Danganronpa mentioned? Yeah. Dangle Grandpa. Chat, you don't know how much I wish I could wipe my memory of certain games just so I could play them for the first time for you guys. And Danganronpa is definitely a series that I wish I could do that with. Because if I had amnesia and I streamed all of Danganronpa, you bet I would constantly be doing a fucking Komaeda impression the whole time.
Hajime, this is all for the sake of hope. I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little guy for the sake of hope.
Anyway, where is the video? Oh, don't tell me I have to restart the stream because it's not doing that thing again. It is. I'm gonna be right back, chat. Because it's doing that thing again. Okay, I'll be right back. I'll end the stream and then we'll restart it. I'll be just a second. So just give me 1 second to reboot OBS. So just give me a second.